Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's Cam the Mechanic here. Today we have an 03 Infinity G35 behind me. It's in for an engine. I was originally in for doing some timing. However, after further inspection of the oil pan, as you can see, there's a lot of debris and some copper in there as well. So I was hoping that the copper was from the guide just letting go, or a tensioner or something like that, because I don't really know what is inside of them. So unfortunately, this car decided to eat its timing chain guide here. So there's supposed to be a little plastic piece on here, much like this guy over here. So this is all in the oil pan, and that's what I found. However, I didn't find any other metal shavings from this happening. So the other metal shavings that are in the oil pan, most notably the copper looking shavings, are actually from the connecting rod bearings. And that was confirmed when I turned this engine back and forth with the crank bolt here, and you can hear the slop and you get underneath there. And you can actually see the crank moving, but the pistons aren't. So we're doing an engine. We're gonna tear into it right now. No more stalling, let's get it. All right, we got her out. One piece. It's pretty empty. Yeah, no trouble pulling her out. I was quite surprised. It just pretty much just fell out, which is awesome. So I'm gonna go through here and clean up all of this crap and stuff in your engine bay here, just so it looks a lot nicer when it's put back together, and also that nothing is mistaken for leaking. You know what I mean? All right, so after quite a bit of work of getting this engine out, we can actually hear and see the failed connecting rod. Yeah, definitely not supposed to be like that, so it's a good thing it's actually discolored a little bit too. Much darker than its partner cylinder there, even those ones there. So this thing got a little warm. I suspect it ran out of oil just with the amount of this is my setup right now. It's on the floor. So I suspect it just lost all of its oil out the valve covers and front crank seal and wherever else this thing was leaking oil. Pretty messy to say the least. Your new engine here. So it's identical to your old one.
sitting over here. The only difference is this came out of an all-wheel drive car. So you see the front drive axle there, but it's nothing that your old engine can't make up for. They're all interchangeable, which makes it really nice. There's a couple other hoses and stuff that I'll have to change over too. But other than that, identical engines. I should be getting to work on this later today. Well, good morning. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. But we got your upper oil pan on, got the lower, all the hoses and stuff dialed in. I actually took this oil pan here to the car wash and just pressure washed the shit out of it, and it was pretty bad. So I made good short work of that. We got your engine mounts on, clean them up a little bit, both sides. Got your exhaust manifolds on. I was just prepping the valley here, getting it all cleaned up, and the surfaces here for your intake. Yeah, she's ready to go back in the car tomorrow morning. Well, hopefully in the morning, depending on what time I wake up at, you know what I mean? We'll get started on unhooking it from the engine stand, back on the hoist, and into your car. Well, have a good night. Talk to you in the morning.
All right, what's going on? It's been a hot minute. I've been working pretty hard putting this engine back together. It's been a long few days of struggling with this cold and, you know, the weather and stuff like that too. So, but she's finally in. Everything's back together. I just had the front bumper to put back on. But I'm too impatient. I want to get this engine started. Smokers. Nice. Okay, that's it for the G35. As you can see, the car is no longer with me. I actually didn't get to film a proper outro with it, as the owner was way too excited and he just had to have his car back. Can't really say I blame him a whole lot. You know, we've had incredibly nice weather. So he had actually lost hope in ever driving the car again. You know, he had just spent the money buying the car and then fixing it up to get it up to roadworthiness. I guess he drove it for a little bit and then it was acting a little funky. He took it to a repair shop and they told him it needed an engine, which he ended up needing one. So the engine had actually spun a rod bearing and there's nothing you can do about that. Sometimes it happens. But the more unfortunate part of that whole scenario was the amount that they were going to charge him. So they were going to charge him $8,000 to swap his engine, which is completely ridiculous, to say the least. You know, even doing some pretty simple math and understanding how much, you spend any amount of time in this field, you'll know what sounds reasonable and what is completely out to lunch. And that was just one of those completely out to lunch numbers. So either they just didn't want to do the job, or their floors were paved in gold and they were going to charge him almost $275 an hour. And that is including the cost of the engine and the miscellaneous parts that you may need to get the engine in and running. But they were going to charge him $275 an hour, which is so he heard about me through one of his neighbors. They actually recommended me to him, and I was able to do this for less than half of that initial quote from that shop. So that just goes to show that there are alternatives to your traditional repair shop, and not every shop is going to be honest with you, you know? So don't get taken advantage of. Always reach out and get a second opinion on, especially jobs like that where there's a lot of money involved. So it doesn't hurt. Take the extra time. And he took the extra time and it saved him quite a bit. And I'm happy I was able to do that for him. Actually, I'm thrilled I was able to do that for him. It's not too often you get to help somebody out in a huge way like that. So with all that being said, I hope you have a good day.